Hello everybody. In this video we will try to understand the impact of Mars Ketu conjunction in the sign of Leo. That's the current transit. It started from 7th June 2025. It will last till 28th July 2025. It's approximately 51 days. So these 51 days has got a lot of attention because Mars is a fiery and war planet. Ketu is of course another fiery planet according to Vedic astrology, and the sign Leo is a fiery sign. So all the fiery energies are meeting, especially in the sign of Leo, and this particular Leo is always considered to be associated with the country USA. When something happens in the sign of Leo, you would see changes in the dynamics of USA. Can be anything. You can take any parameter. You would definitely see changes in USA the moment changes are occurring in the sign of Leo. Now this Ketu and Mars conjunction in Vedic astrology is called as a Pishacha yoga. It's a challenging yoga. It's not treated as a good one. It's a highly dynamic and potentially volatile. And you would clearly expect a very intense world events. If you observe Mars is a planet of action, aggression, warfare. It's related to your assertiveness as well. And Ketu is a shadow planet related to spirituality, detachment. It's a mysterious planet basically. Whenever Ketu is involving, you would clearly expect some sudden events. Even in the personal life, you would see when a person is going through Ketu Mahadasha, he would be experiencing some sudden events during the Ketu Mahadasha, and it's a very transformation period for anybody, Ketu Mahadasha. So before Ketu Mahadasha and after Ketu Mahadasha is the division you can draw between any person's life, in any person's life. So Ketu is very famous for sudden events and disruptions. And Leo is ruled by Sun, of course. It represents leadership, authority, power, ego, politics, and your creativity, the world's creativity. So entertainment industry would be impacted a lot by this conjunction. Very easy prediction. Entertainment industry would see the next 51 days how this Mars Ketu conjunction would impact the entertainment industry all over the world. It's not just Bollywood or Hollywood or Tollywood or whatever, right? Kollywood, whatever you would see, right? There's a kind of intense events going to happen. So the Ketu is the planet of separation and spirituality and detachment. This particular planet is meeting the planet Mars, that's action and aggression, is combining in this particular Leo, that's power and kingsmanship, also the politics. So clearly is a rebellious energy. And Ketu would try to remove the ego. The main problem here is Ketu is not related to ego. Ketu wants ego to be down, egoless. If you have ego, and the moment you're running through Ketu Mahadasha, you just observe your ego would be completely removed. You should surrender. That kind of energy it has. So as Ketu is in the sign of Leo and Mars is also joining here, Ketu would try to remove the ego of world leaders here. Some world leaders may have ego, like our country is great, or we can do anything. So that kind of ego, that will be completely destroyed. The destruction is in the next level. The destruction of the ego. If some country is feeling very much superior, any country, Any country, it's not limited to one country, any country which is feeling superior to other countries, right, and blindly thinking that they are the most powerful people, then that ego is cut off, 100% cut off. So it's a very fiery energy, it's not a simple energy, and it is going to happen because it's karmic, as Ketu is involved. So it's going to happen with 100% assurance. Ketu removes the ego. And what Mars is doing here, Mars is going to charge it up. Ketu tries to remove the ego of world leaders, and Mars will charge it up. So this can create a kind of explosive scenarios or transformative breakthroughs all over the world. And it is not a very good conjunction because it's a fiery and karmic conjunction. It can lead to some wars, revolutions, accidents, fires, kind of uprisings you would see, spiritual moments also, depending on the context of that particular country. I will try to post the results based on your moon sign as well. And it is called as a kind of Pisacha yoga, as we discussed. And you would see Leo is also associated with stock market energy. So you would see kind of stock market volatility, right? So a kind of stock market volatility for the next 51 days. I will try to post whenever there is a stock market volatility as well. But you can clearly expect there is a severe volatility in the stock market. And the ego clashes and power struggles that you can see, because see, Leo is the sign of leadership. Leo is the sign of power. And this particular conjunction, that is Mars Ketu conjunction in the sign of Leo, can amplify ego-driven actions. The ego-driven actions by so-and-so leaders, that would definitely lead to some significant power struggles, significant conflicts that can be noted down in the history. And it challenges to, and it is going to challenge the authority figures on global scale, and public figures and leaders. These people, all these people, these leaders, and whatever public faces, whatever, the authoritative people you would see, they may face increased scrutiny. They may experience some kind of sudden downfall in their power life. And the fundamental behavior of Mars is very impulsive. And Ketu adds an element of unpredictability. Ketu is headless. It is always an unpredictable energy, right? So Mars is impulsive, Ketu is a headless unpredictability. Then you can understand this can manifest a kind of rash decisions by the world leaders. The rashness comes because they are misdirected, they are misguided because of their aggression. When you are in some kind of aggression, your decisions are actually misguided. You're misdirected. So that would lead to some kind of sudden and disruptive events. Even in your personal life, you just observe. If you are misguided by somebody or misdirected by somebody, and you got some kind of aggression, and that's it. The next event in your life, I can clearly tell you, that's an unpredictable event, because you are misguided and you have aggression, you have aggressive behavior. Let us say, if these two are combined, any person's life you take, if the person has some aggressive behavior and if he is misguided by somebody, That's it. That's where the disruption of that particular person's life would be starting. There is a sudden event for sure in that person's life. The same thing happens here in the world, in the global scale, because Mars and Ketu are in conjunction. Mars is that aggressive behavior, and Ketu is a kind of headless action. What are involved here is a misdirection. Why there is a misdirection or misguidedness here? Because of Ketu. Ketu is headless. And what about this Mars? Mars is adding aggressiveness. If these two are combined in the sign of Leo, and that's it, there is a sudden event for sure, right? There's a sudden event for sure in the Leo world. And Leo would be the sign that can be related to ascendant to some of the countries, that can add up to the fourth house of some countries like India. Most of the people are associating India with Taurus ascendant based on the 15th August 1947 horoscope, right? But if you observe, Pisces is most applicable ascendant for India as per the 26th January 1950 horoscope, or based on the fundamental behavior of India, you can associate Pisces ascendant. But most of the people are considering the birth of India based on this 1947 as 15th August horoscope. So they are associating this with Taurus ascendant. Even if you take Taurus ascendant as the ascendant of India, then what about the fourth house? Fourth house is the internal home affairs in the country, within the country, the disruption, right? The kind of this particular Mars and Ketu energy would add some kind of fiery elements. You take any country, you take any other country, this particular Leo sign would be one of the houses, and in that houses there would be some sudden events. And you may ask, okay, it's just Mars Ketu conjunction in the sign of Leo, why it is given so much of importance? At this point, in this particular Mars Ketu conjunction, this particular Mars is watching the Saturn with its 8th aspect, because Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. There's a yoga called Shadastaka Yoga. It's not a yoga, basically it's a kind of it is not a positive thing. That is Mars and Saturn sitting 6-8 in the 6-8 position. So from the Saturn, Mars is in the 6th position. From the Mars, Saturn is in the 8th position, and Mars is watching the Saturn and of course Saturn is not watching the Mars, but still Mars is 6th to Saturn here. The 6-8 position of Saturn is enhancing this particular disruption, this particular disruptive energy. And Ketu is deeply linked to past karma and spiritual liberation as well. So in Leo, this can bring up unresolved karmic issues related to power, related to recognition or leadership. So this is going to bring up unresolved karmic issues. Means karmic issues in the sense they are there for a long time, right? They are karmic basically, because in the past history of so and so country, so and so thing happened, so that is going on. Just like India, in India, if you observe the Kashmir issue, it's a karmic issue, you can say. Those things are going to be bring up very clearly in any country. Whatever is happening for so many years, that's going to be bring up, because Ketu has that power of karmic unveiling. It's a period of spiritual test as well, right? Because Ketu and Mars are in conjunction in Leo, and Leo is yourself, the self of the world, you can say. the identity of each country. So each country has some identity crisis, and every country wants to win. Such kind of energy you can observe with this. And there's a possibility of increased conflict and violence because both Mars and Ketu are fiery planets. So their conjunction, especially in a fiery sign like Leo, can escalate any kind of tension, or it can lead to some kind of rise in warlike situations, kind of violent incidents, or a kind of civil unrest. Because this Mars Ketu conjunction is occurring in the sign of Leo, and this Mars is watching the Saturn with its 8th house. And the natural disasters like fire related incidents, accidents, and potentially natural disasters like earthquakes are also expected because of this disruptive energy. And especially disruption in entertainment industry and also in politics, you will clearly see, because Leo not only governs this politics, higher authority, kings or presidents or prime ministers of the world, it also governs the entertainment industry. So there could be some significant shakeups, significant scandals or unexpected events in entertainment industry as well. And this Mars Ketu conjunction in Leo is a kind of rare event, because Ketu comes into the sign of Leo for every once in every 18 years. And the last time when Ketu came 18 years back, that time Mars already crossed Leo, so Mars did not get a chance to meet Ketu that time. So last time it occurred was in 1981, 35 years back. And this particular exact conjunction, see, the moment this conjunction becomes more and more exact, around July 23 or the time, this conjunction power would become even more disruptive. It becomes even more intense. 23rd July that time. So, even though this particular conjunction of Mars Ketu occurred last time in 1981, but much more parallel can be drawn between the conjunction of Mars Ketu and the sign of Leo at the time of 1914. That's July 28th. If you observe 28th July 1914 chart, that time Sun was also in the sign of Cancer. It's a period of World War I. That time Sun was in the sign of Cancer, and now also around 23rd July, it's very much near to 28th July, right? That time this exact conjunction in the sense Mars and Ketu are at almost at similar degrees. So there is a clear parallel between this particular June July 2025, the next 51 days of Mars Ketu conjunction in the sign of Leo, with the energy of World War I. So there's the kind of war energy, that's what we can say from this. A kind of war ignition phase, right? A kind of war ignition phase. So what the world leaders, if the world leaders believe in Vedic astrology, if someone at least, right, especially in India as we believe it, if they believe it, better they try to take some actions to reduce the aggression, at least be calm and quiet, right? Following the spiritual methods, controlling the aggressive behavior. Otherwise, this energy is a kind of war ignition energy. This is clearly indicating this particular energy has a potential for significant global unrest, global conflicts, and even economic and geopolitical collapses. This particular energy has that capacity, right? So, better the world leaders understand this behavior of this energy and they try to adapt some spiritual methods. How beautiful if all the world leaders, do meditation 1 hour a day so that they control their anger. Because this is a Pisach Yoga. It's called as a Pisach Yoga because it's going to be erupt. It's a kind of disruptive energy because Ketu is headless and Mars is the super aggression, right? So now I want to tell you this. This has to, the world should take some precautions. This has to be this energy has to be taken care of. Better the world leaders be very much diplomatic. Better the world leaders de-escalate the things. They have to understand their ego and power issues. They have to give the first priority to the internal peace of the country and harmony present in the country. They have to prepare for the disasters and they should try to save as many people as possible, and better they follow some spiritual methods and they better they are very much ethical to the people, right? So that these methods should be followed. Otherwise, clearly there is a parallel between a war energy and this energy. And even more, the Rahu in Aquarius and Saturn in Pisces is also not so supporting. It's actually this particular Saturn in Pisces and Rahu in Aquarius is also a kind of transformative energy, a kind of challenging energy, right? So it's going to give a kind of leadership shift. It's going to give a kind of society shift. Even there is going to be some re-evaluation of leadership. That means in some of the countries there would be some elected leaders already, but people would try to re-evaluate and can do massive protests as well if their rulership is very bad. They're not taking care of their people. So how beautiful if the world follows some spiritual methods instead of just running after the money. If the world is continuing running after the money and giving more preference to their ego and more preference to their identity, then Ketu will cut off this whole stuff. If they are not following spiritual methods, if they are not very good to the people, if they are always following their ego, then their leadership will be ended and they will be punished like anything. It will create history. And if they follow spirituality, if they bow down to the God, if they bow down and surrender to the people, if they feel their political life is a service to the humanity, is a service to the people, if they do the actions without expecting any identity, and if they are not taking any pride in doing the good things to the people, right? If they just do the good things to the people and just be normal, then Ketu would not punish them. If they are doing all the service to the people and feeling it as a greatest thing, and also if they are very much proud, if they are becoming very much egoistic by this kind of rulership that they have, that is a punishable thing. They should not, because Leo is the sign of ego and Ketu doesn't like ego. You're getting it? So when you're doing some good thing, what is the kind of Ketu's energy? Ketu's energy is something like Ketu observes you, whether you're doing good things or not. If you're doing good things, service to the poor and service to the humanity, yes, Ketu likes it. And if you're taking pride out of it, like, yes, I am doing it, I am the greatest person because I am serving the poor people. Serving the poor people is you should not take pride out of it. You should maintain some kind of, down to earth quality. That's what Ketu expects. Even though you are serving crores and crores of people, you should bow down to the God. You should bow down to the same people that you're serving. You should thank them that they actually took took your services. You should bow down to them that they gave you a chance to serve them. So that kind of mentality you should have as a ruler. Bow down, surrender to the people, surrender to the God. A ruler must be like this. If a ruler wants identity by serving to the poor people, that is also not acceptable by Ketu's energies. Because Ketu is like that. Ketu wants you to serve the poor people, and Ketu does not want you to take the pride, or does not want you to get identity. You should not get happiness in getting the identity as well. Ketu doesn't like it at all. Ketu doesn't like any materialistic behavior. That's what I want to tell you. So this Mars-Ketu conjunction in Leo is going to be a very big spiritual test for all the leaders all over the world. Otherwise, the punishment that Ketu gives is unforgettable, beyond the imagination. The world is running in that energy for the next 51 days, 7th June 2025 to 28th July 2025, the next 51 days. So it's one of the greatest period for the whole world if spiritual methods are accepted. So thanks for watching this video. In the next video, I will try to post this, how this energy would impact different moon signs. Thank you.